teeth. The president suggests injecting bleach. It's all got a little weird. Assault rifles go storming City Hall, demanding return freedom for us all. But who exactly took it, they're not sure. It's all got a little peculiar. Please can somebody try to explain why the whole goddamn world has gone insane? The experts' voice can't quite break through the din. This is not a competition we can win. The Queen of England singing virally. It's all got a little odd. It seems like half the planet is aflame. A virus spreads that cannot be contained. The AI really wants to know my name. It's all got a little welly. Please can somebody try to explain why the whole goddamn world has gone Figures crawl across the TV screens, yet no one really knows what they mean. Don't talk to strangers, keep your hands clean. It's all got a little strange. The numbers on the count keep ticking up, yet there are people who still do not give up. They say I'm alright, I'll keep chancing my luck. I'd like to say that it is worse than I expected, but it's really not. Please can somebody try to explain why the whole goddamn world has gone insane? I think that something's gone wrong with the brain, 'cause the whole goddamn world has gone insane. Cheers. We all working now? Hopefully we're all working now. Just going to turn this down a little bit because I'm deafening myself, which is always fun. That's the wrong way. I'll just do that, that'll work. Cool. Yeah, so my name's Jess Silk. I am from the Black Country. I'm not a Brummie as it billed me as, but I can forgive it. Because I did live in Birmingham for 3 years while I was at uni. But I feel like a bit of an imposter because I went to Aston. So you'll have to forgive me that. This next one's a title track off my latest EP, which I wrote over lockdown. Started writing it in March. It wasn't a planned thing, but then obviously a lot of last year wasn't planned. Yes, this is kind of, I suppose, with this roadmap thing, with hopefully looking forward to getting back to some version of normality later on this year. But this is a song about kind of getting back to it after everything. So this is called "There's a Bar at the End of the World." There's a bar at the end of the world. We'll meet when it's over. light at the end of the tunnel you're heading toward. Know that every week past means that you are another week closer to when you'll sing and you'll dance and you'll laugh and you'll smile like before. Now that door's been closed and you're left all alone with your feeling. You've got time to get back on track, but you've never known how. I could offer a song if it helps in the fight with your demons. Well, I know it's not much, but it's all that I'm good for right now. And if you just hold on, then I'll try and I'll figure it out. With the same four chords and this knackered guitar, with a pint in my hand and a seat at the bar, I'll be waiting when you get there. With these open arms, a seat by my side, with a hand you can hold and a safe place to hide, I'll be waiting when you get there. There's a bar at the end of the world where we'll meet when it's over. There's a scratch up old record that plays the same line on repeat. And it's hard to keep fighting the pull, though you don't want to go there. As you slowly get dragged back onto that same old dead-end street. There's a hand in the dark that'll guide you if only you take it. Some wise words to be heard even over the roar of the crowd. I can offer a song if it helps you believe you can make it. Well, I know it's not much, but it's all that I'm good for right now. And if you just hold on, then I'll try and I'll figure it out. With the same four chords and this knackered guitar, with a pint in my hand and a seat at the bar, I'll be waiting when you get there. With these open arms, a seat by my side, with a hand you can hold and a safe place to hide, I'll be waiting when you get there. If you need me to be. There's a bar at the end of the world where we'll meet when it's over. Cheers. Well, I reckon I'm going to do one more, if that's cool with you guys. This one, I wrote it towards the end of 2019, just after the general election. It's a lot more upbeat than it could have been, but Yeah, so there's me and a group of mates always get together to watch the election results come in. That day we saw the exit polls and started on the tequila, so you can imagine how that weekend went. But I woke up on the Sunday morning with a few words going around my head. But I said to myself, this isn't going to be a miserable, angry one. It's going to be an uplifting and defiant one. So hopefully I've managed that. I'll leave you guys to be the judge. But yeah, this is this song about solidarity, really, being there for each other, and obviously striking. You've all got to be there for each other. So this one's called "If We're Damned." Back here again, and I thought this time had passed, but it's always darkest before the dawn, and I am holding on to that. We got it wrong, and it seems that they're getting more right, and as the storm clouds all creep in, it's getting hard to see the light. But there is hope, and we've got enough to go around. There's a light that in the darkness can be found. There's a flame, a beacon that's not going out. There's a cause, and if we're down, we'll go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got. We'll hold on to each other. We will mend. We'll get there in the end. The next act begins as the actors take the floor. Whether a pantomime or a tragedy, the crowd still calls for more. The curtains rise, and it seems like everything's changed, but it's just a little bleaker now. The cause remains the same, and there is hope, and we've got enough to go around. There's a light that in the darkness can be found. There's a flame, a beacon that's not going out. There's a cause, yeah, we've something left to fight for, and if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got. We'll hold on to each other. We will mend. We'll get there in the end. We'll get there in the end. To the people sleeping rough nights out underneath the cold street lights, and the ones who sing their kids to sleep, who starve themselves, I'll lay my feet. To the people who've been left behind, and the ones that we've lost to suicide. To those who don't know what to do, listen up, this one's for you. To those who stood and had their say, who lived to fight another day, hats off to you, the bold, the brave. All I can say is if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got, and we'll hold on to each other. We will mend. And if we're down, we'll all go down together. We'll keep up the fight through the dark and stormy weather, 'cause that's all we've got, and we'll hold on to each other. We will mend. We'll get there in the end. Cheers. Thank you very much for having me.
And first of all, I'm just going to say thanks to Jess as well. Yeah, that was really brilliant and divine and uplifting. That's really good. That's good for me to come in on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what this is all about and why we're celebrating International Women's Day. So we're here. So we're very glad to celebrate International Women's Day because of our ongoing commitment to gender equality, and equality is at the heart of everything we do. And so we celebrate the work of our female colleagues, our female students, and the activists involved with our branch and elsewhere. And I should say that when I say female, I mean it in a way that's inclusive of our trans colleagues and students. So it includes all those who self-identify as women. I also wanted to say talk a little bit about what we're fighting against and what we're fighting for. And Rhiannon, who's going to be speaking a bit later, is going to talk a little bit more about the situation in a little bit more detail. But I'll talk a little bit about the broad principles of why we're here tonight. So we're in this situation right now, both locally at BCU and more generally, because of an extremely patriarchal top-down approach to management and to governance, which puts us all at risk in the pandemic. So this is about how the university is managed, but also how our country is governed, which is about extreme hierarchy. So top-down decisions, not trusting others further down to have any voice or agency, not admitting when you've made a mistake because of not wanting to lose face. Where have we seen this before? And so both within this university and from this government, we've seen decisions being made around unrealistic promises about what sorts of experiences students should have on campus based on over-optimistic predictions around the virus going away. And these have had profound implications for health and safety at work during a pandemic and putting staff and students at risk, as well as their families and communities. So that's what we're fighting against. Now, this is what we're fighting for. So we're fighting for a university and a society which is based on care. So this includes support for people who are vulnerable, people who live with others who are vulnerable, people who've had to homeschool their children and care for their elderly relatives. And this also includes recognition about how the virus has exacerbated and exposed all kinds of inequalities, such as the risk, for example, that Black and ethnic minority people face in dying of the virus. And if you've not seen it, I strongly recommend you watch the BBC documentary called Why is COVID-19 Killing People of Color, and with David Harewood, and the importance of putting in support measures in to support people at risk. So really thinking about a university and a society that's based on care is where feminist politics drive what we do. And care needs to be meaningful. So not the consumerist, Gwyneth Paltrow-ish packaging we see from the wellness industry and how it's been appropriated within workplace culture, including at BCU. So online yoga classes, and I do them myself, but they're not really enough if people are stressed out and burnt out, as so many of our members are, in terms of trying to deliver things and the pandemic and the extreme amount of stress that people are under, which you hear about all the time. And care means challenging a situation where where I think, as we've seen at BCU and elsewhere, staff are treated just as service providers and students are just payers of rent and payers of tuition fees. So it means treating everyone it means treating everyone like human beings, really, not just service providers or consumers. So I just wanted to say thanks everyone for coming tonight. Have a lovely evening. And I'm going to hand you now over to Debbie Shaw, who's going to talk about the situation at University of East London, where they've had a massive campaign against some job losses there.
Thanks, Kirsten, and many thanks, Kirsten, for inviting me tonight. And also big thanks to all those people that out there who have been supporting us throughout the past year. And I can't believe it's a year where we've experienced so many problems. So many thanks for your solidarity and for your support. And thanks for contributing to our strike fund, which is doing really well. I have to say, I've worked at the University of East London for 20 years. And I'm not sure that I've ever encountered a management that is so keen to, and so blatantly keen to, both weaken the union and destroy those disciplines where they see opposition coming from. You may know that we've been through, many universities have used the COVID-19 virus as an excuse for what they call restructuring. I'm sure that many of you will be familiar with this. As far as UEL was concerned, it was a time when they had to save some money, and so they decided to make us all reapply for our jobs. What happened then was that for only 5 members of staff were made compulsory redundant. Some of us had our fractions reduced, including myself. Some people took paid redundancy. And they were left with 5 compulsory redundancies, which I'm sure you can work out wasn't going to save them any money. Those 5 people, 1 was a man, the other 4 were women. The man has accepted a settlement, and so we're left with 4 women. Not coincidentally, I think 3 of whom are sociologists. So again, you know, this is where the university thinks it sees its opposition coming from. And 1 is a well-known filmmaker. They are high-profile academics. They're professors. In most cases, they're professors. In 3 cases, they're professors. 2 of them are, and as I've said, they're trying deliberately to weaken the union. 2 of them are our chair and vice chair of the union. All of them are highly referable. So they're, you know, it seems as if they're shooting themselves in the foot, but they seem absolutely hell-bent on targeting those people that they see as their main opposition. And I've just heard today, one of the people that's been targeted, of course, you may know of her, is Gargi Bhattacharya. Is a very well-known BAME academic, highly regarded globally. And another also BAME woman has today resigned. And I've been told that I can use her words, but she's not sure that she wants us to know who she is yet. But she said, please tell everybody that I've resigned because I felt overlooked, sidelined, and undermined. And she said, I don't mind who knows that she could no longer continue because the atmosphere being created was not conducive to her, you know, to her well-being. And that's true. And what Kirsten just said about offering yoga classes and this whole culture of well-being, supposedly mindfulness, etc., I can't stand it. Every time I see it, it makes me cringe, because what they think is that they can then rally the troops by you know, providing them with what they think is a way of calming us down. We won't be calmed down. We are continuing to fight. We've had some small success with 2 of the women that have been targeted. I'm not going to go into any details because there's nothing settled yet, but we are beginning to have some effect. It's not all doom and gloom. I think we've got them rattled. It seems this particular management prefers Twitter storms to strikes. I mean, you know, strikes seem to have little effect. The moment that you hit social media, then they seem to respond. I myself am not on Twitter, but I've been following this with incredible interest. And it's again, there's another big thank you here to those of you that have joined the Twitter storm. I believe there's another one coming up for next week, so look out for that. You know, I'm not disheartened. We will continue to fight. And as far as I'm concerned, we're going to win. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good evening, BCU socialites. My name is Kaytee, and I'm from a band called Low Red Moon, based in Birmingham. But tonight, as it's just me, out of a usual 7-piece, I will be representing the Lone Red Moon. Bit nervous, bit out of practice, funnily enough, because it's been a while since any of us have done this. But I think we can all agree that, for the time being, this is the safest way. So crack on. This first song is based on a Shirley Jackson novel called We've Always Lived in the Castle, and it's called Here on the Moon. bones are the ones who live to you. You say quit to know me cause I'm sad. Watching your fingers try to play. Take these steps forward, stop your game and want to know. Still I wanted you all to myself. You watch the open and the shadow. Chases past the nigga when they hide. Protecting my sister who always been kind. Take these steps forward, face down. Stop your game and want to know. Come on, let's forever know. Now your face was good, it's here on the moon. Daddy's my shirt is fully undone. Creeps up my coffee and covers are wrong. That's what we show, that's what I say. And let the outsides to creep in. Take these steps forward, yes, stop your baby and want to know. Cover my eyes wherever you go. And the old face bus girls here on the moon. Thank you very much. And a quick drink, seeing as it is a social and it is a Friday night. Cheers to you all. So I think the last time myself and the rest of the band got to play a proper big live gig, all sort of electric and plugged in. We did do a socially distanced one for Halloween, but our last proper gig with lots of people not having to worry about space and distance was for International Women's Day, which is coming up again. And I understand that this is meant to be tying in with that as well. So big shout out to all you women and all you women lovers. This next one is also inspired by a book. Not all of my songs are inspired by books, but it's kind of a mashup of Slaughterhouse-Five and my granddad.
1, 2, 3, go!
Cool. Right, this next one. Oh, my daughter's giving a little cheer in the next room. It's nice. I've also got a husband on the sofa being very quiet under strict instruction, and a very sleepy puppy. Do you want to see the puppy? Everyone wants to see the puppy. Hang on. Not a euphemism, by the way. Hang on. Why are you laughing? Look, can we see the puppy? There is a sleeping puppy. That is literally what is happening now. Also staying safe at home, as we should all be until things get a bit better, eh? I think that's a lot of the point of this, yes? I hope you're all staying safe out there. How cheesy did that sound, but I do mean it. Alright, this next one is a bit of a risk, because I've never ever played this for anyone other than my husband and my daughter and my puppy before. So this one's called St. Vitus, not about a book. There shall be no was wanted to be great. The petals rose and torn. Ashes to ashes, gathered and drawn. Time persistent, dancing flavors gone. Ashes to ashes, gathered and drawn. Time persistent, dancing flavors gone. Na 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 Right. Thanks for putting up with that. And this is going to be my last one of the evening. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you're all having a lovely social. And I hope to see you all in person someday soon, hopefully. We have my band of 7. I hope I'm repping tonight. I mean, it's a lot of shoes to fill for one person. We are playing a gig, hopefully, everything crossed, at the Hare and Hounds on the 1st of July, obviously, if it's safe to do so. But yeah, all of you stay safe until then. And here we go. This is my last song. It's called Smoke and Mirrors. Also, not about a book. Try to give me the moon, crimson flower and dawn. I'm so big and so wide, pull me deep inside in time. The monster yours to give, got them velvet tears. You're the master of smoke and mirrors. you take care, and hopefully catch you all soon. Bye.
Well, yeah, so we're some of Sunshine Frisbee Laserbeam. All right? Well.
Does everything sound okay? Should we sing louder? Or is everything fantastic?
There was like a okay. What's next on the docket? Devil. I'll be the devil. Well, I'll be the devil. This is a brand new song. Yeah. So I don't think it's even going to be on the next record. It's madness. That's all I do. That's on 2, 3, 4. his T-shirt.
Ah, change the t-shirt.
It's that's an SFL fuck all T-shirt.
Oh, it is. I like that.
Cool T-shirt,
Fantastic.
dude.
Right then, let me get my organ, guys.
I've got one person. What song we playing?
That one.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I wrote this one. This one's called Equal the Dead. It's an old one and a new one. Thanks, everyone. We've got two more.
Is that unscheduled? 2 more. That'll be good. Wicked. Thumbs up all day. You'll notice on camera you sound way more brummy. Oh yeah, this is warming up. No, no, no.
Did you fuck me up?
It's coming for it. I've forgotten.
Okay.
Just
up and in the sun. Yeah, you and I should be alone. Passing up and in the sun. Yeah, you and I should be alone. Passing up and in the sun. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex, and a big thank you to all the performers. It seems like the process of running this social tonight is very similar to any union negotiations with management. Lots of barriers just keep coming up, but we keep coming back. Solidarity all, and happy International Working Women's Day. By working, I refer to not just paid labour, but the labour of resistance or existence under capitalism. We've talked about yoga mats and the way in which the mental health struggle is commodified and commercialised. I think we can see International Women's Day or Worker Women's Day as being commercialised and appropriated by all sorts of hierarchical people in our current system. But we know that the origins, in fact, are revolutionary. And as trade unionists, we believe in grassroots, not astroturf. The struggle of working class women to form trade unions and the fight for women's enfranchisement is actually the origins of this day. We can look to 1908, when women in New York marched for union recognition, to 1917, where women workers in Petrograd held a mass strike which spread from factory to factory and became an insurrection at the start of the Russian Revolution. Today, the 5th, rather than the 8th, which is the official day, is the birthday of Rosa Luxemburg, and I'd like to bring to your attention her quote: "If we don't move, then we don't notice our chains," and we're going through struggle and difficulties at the moment, but that is the fact that we are moving. Also, in celebration of International Workers' Women's Day, I'd celebrate the chain makers of Cradley Heath, very local to here, who won the first minimum wage when women working in the domestic home or raising their daughters took on the management and won. We also celebrate, of course, the struggles of Grunzig and Joan Desai. The struggle, as we said, of women is central to the labour movement, and that is an intersectional women's struggle. We demand not only bread, but roses too. Trade unionism is portrayed as violence by those who oppose us, but we can see it actually as radical care. Radical in taking on the structures which seek to attack us and defending those around us and reaching out in care to those around us, trying to dismantle the structures that oppress, damage and kill people. Care is not at all an exclusively female quality. What we strive for as trade unionists is care in place of the damage done to us by the structures which put profit before people. In terms of the history of our dispute here at BCU, it's definitely set deep in the marketisation of universities and the wider system of austerity and capitalism. Our dispute began really as part of the turf war last summer, which saw pre-92 universities dropping grades and working class universities like ours taking on new initiatives to try and recruit higher numbers of students. And that was definitely about preserving a place in the market. It had nothing to do with the benefit of students or care for the people who work here along with them. If we look at the turf that we're fighting over, working class students are seen as needing to access the university, and our dispute is that we care for them. Our leaders say that they care for them. The context of care is a battleground. But this struggle takes place in deeper scars of capitalism and austerity. Our leaders say that working class students need to access the university because they don't have a place to study at home. We should not have, in the 21st century, in one of the richest nations, homes which are unfit for our students to have a place to work in. And that is traced to the sale of social housing in the 1980s from Thatcher, and the failure of every successive government, Tory and Labour, to do anything about that in having suitable housing for working class people to live in. Another thing that's brought up is the fact that homes are dangerous, and we know that domestic violence has grown hugely under lockdown. But is that actually something which can be solved by bringing people into dangerous conditions? We say not. A third of refuges were closed early under austerity. There's been a failure to fund domestic violence services, a failure to fund early intervention, but crucially also a failure to make a project of education which stops domestic violence before it starts through valuing women. Our leaders say that we need students on site because of technological access. But actually, this is about a failure of our society to value education for working class people over a long period of time. We lost 1 million adult learners in the last decade in FE through their places going through cuts to our colleges. A system that was proposed only the December 4 last for free broadband for every house was dismissed as luxury communism. Nothing is too good for the working class. The mental health of our students is seen as failing under lockdown if they cannot get on site in order to access lessons. We've seen child and adolescent mental health services slashed, particularly in Birmingham, but around the area and the UK more widely. We've seen a failure to fund mental health services, privatisation over a long period of time. So that's about how we treat mental health when it starts. But really, as a former psychology lecturer, I don't think it will be news to a lot of you that the main cause of mental health problems is stress. And it's a stress that comes from our hierarchical society, a stress that comes from misogyny, racism, disableism, LGBT plus oppression, and a system stacked against the working class. We celebrate the activists of BCU-UCU, including women and allies in our branch, and all those around us supporting us, all of our allies raising funds for us and encouraging us and bringing us on. We've won our first industrial ballot in 10 years. We've had 3 long negotiation days this week, and we've achieved one thing at least, which is no coercion on Monday. That's a starting point, not a finishing point, and we are carrying on with negotiations next week. We will, like the working class women of New York, Russia, Brunswick, and Cradley Heath, be prepared to take industrial action if we do not get the duty of care towards ourselves and towards our students. But beyond that, we're building a fighting branch every day, and we want BCU-UCU management to recognise that the COVID struggle is not something unique in its own box. It is something that will continue, in that we will continue to be a fighting branch. We will continue to organise, and we will continue to fight for the rights of all people to be included in decision making here. We will not accept a failure to exercise true care for our members, our students and our communities, and that's what we stand for as trade unionists. So solidarity and happy International Working Women's Day. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Okay, getting the thumbs up here. Hope everyone's got a beer or some wine, or if you don't drink alcohol or whatever, a drink of your choice. Cheers to that. And I'm going to crack on. I've tried to kit out this setup as nice as I can, but we will see. Right. And you may not be able to see me much, but hopefully the little lamps and what they call plants are aesthetically pleasing. It's time to have some fun. Groovy. It's weird that I'm nervous and I'm basically just looking at my laptop. How does this work? Cool. I'm going to play some just unfinished numbers to spice things up. So it's going to be a bit of a mishmash of things. I'm back on the road again. Sometimes you gotta be your only friend to find the truth amongst the pretend. It's might get stranger to make one you dead. I'm back on the road again. Sometimes you gotta be your only friend to find the truth amongst the pretend. Smile gets strangers when they want you dead. This is meant to be a smooth transition. Sometimes I try to sympathize with what's going on. Just not fooling anyone, oh, but inside, surely you can find another way to hide the last love that you thought of and choose you over them. Is it too late to say anything except your faith, the disappointment of their face as I choose me over them? Sometimes I try to sympathize what's going on, but you're not fooling anyone. But inside, surely you can find another way to hide the lost love that you're scared of and choose you over them. Choose you over them. Choose you over them. Oh, choose you over them. Over them. I can hear the inaudible claps. Genuinely, it's kind of weird. So these just random little unfinished snippets of songs are part of a little project I'm doing at the moment, where each Bandcamp day, which is each first Friday of the month, to help me songwrite and get through the bad and get through the good. It's all subjective, whether you think it's good or bad, of course. But I release them as a collection of free songs on my Bandcamp. So if you want to check those out for free, then be my guest. Literally. This is another little snippet. Think of you, think of me, think about us separately. I can't explain, there's nothing to explain. It's not like we know each other's last names. It's hard to think this is a one-time thing. So how will we know what the other may be feeling? I think of you, think of me, I think about what's best for us separately. I can't explain, there's nothing to explain. It's not we know each other's last names. I think of you, I think of me, I think about what's best for us separately. Really, right now to some proper songs, I guess. What is proper anyway? What cap is this? 2. Whew, it is hard in here. Okay, all right, cool. Ooh. This is from my last record, Say That Now. That is available online and to buy on vinyl from eBay. Me and chariots reminisce the past, and I Thank you. Hope you got your quiz questions correct, everybody. Feels like my set's a little short, but this is my last song. But okay, I got the thumbs up, that's okay, good. What a great set from Sunshine, Frisbee, Laserbeam. Glad I didn't mess it up and get this the wrong way around. Being pals. But mask free here, just me and my plants, no mask. What song are we doing? What are we doing? Hey. Yeah. So naturally this is a bit rocky, but you know, obviously it's just me here, so it's not going to be too rocky. But if you want rock, then it's on the record. Oh yeah, this is my Slayer part. Okay, sorry, inside joke. See if you recognize it. Thank you for listening. If I can play it. I come knocking at your door and you, oh, that is not the lyrics. Sorry. I come knocking at your door and I don't know what's really more. I'm in my head that I feel brain dead. Cold by depression, it knows me better than my friends and family. Oh, it's clever, it's me whenever. Oh, it's clever, it's me whenever. Lay on the weak, then I'll be. Responsibility is not for me. I can't move on. Everybody else has gone, has gone. It's lonely over here, it's empty over there. I look in the mirror and face my stare. Oh, it's clever, it's me whenever. Oh, it's clever, it's me whenever. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your night.